Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about God of War 2, which if you could guess it, is a sequel to God of War 1. And I thought it was brilliant. I got a 1 month subscription of Paramount Premium, and I did not want to pay for another month, so I'm glad I finished it with 4 days to spare. Because I thought the ending was so worth it. It was so good. Um, it, I think it even outdoes 1, even though I really liked 1. They're kind of neck and neck for me at this point, though. Kratos isn't exactly the most likable character, but I feel like that's kind of the point. You're kind of playing as a very stubborn, evil, self-serving character. Makes sense though because he's fighting stubborn, evil, self-serving gods. So I feel like the dynamic there was really interesting. You know, you got to play the game, be the game to win the game, play a player. I don't know how that works. Kills people in the most brutal ways, unique ways. Um, it's great. He's such a fun character to play as. I love that fight with him and the Colossus of Rhodes. That was really cool. The battle you have in this game ends in like this cinematic, like epic showdown. Gotta be honest, sometimes those quick time events get me. I'm, I'm not the best gamer, so it took me like 16 hours to play this. According to the internet, it takes most people 12. So, yeah, I'm not the best gamer, but every battle ends with like this huge cinematic showdown. I feel like this, if like God of War would be made into a movie, it'll be like a Spielberg movie. I feel like it has that like high octane, or at least the Spielberg of the 80s and 70s, this high octane thriller almost. And it's just so creative how each battle is different from each other, and it doesn't feel like you're just playing the same levels over and over again. You know, you feel like every every battle in the game adds something unique, and I just find that really enjoyable. I like how they take the weapons and the magic from the first game and add on to it. They add more things, which gives it its own little place in the series. It adds a lot on top of what made the first game great and adds even more stuff, which is what a good sequel should do. I played this on easy mode and I still took a long time to finish it, which once again proves I am a very bad gamer. How you have to use different moves to defeat different enemies. You know, like sometimes you use the magic, sometimes you use the blades, or sometimes you use the yellow thing where you go crazy. Um, the sound is great. The soundtrack is fantastic. It has such an epic feel to it. It's almost like John Williams esque, or like Game of Thrones. Back in Game of Thrones, when I gave a shit about that. The sound design too is also very top notch. It feels very epic, just the swords and the grunts and everything. It just adds to the realism of it, even though obviously it's a fantasy world. Graphics, honestly, pretty good. I played the PS3 remaster, which is still like over a decade old, and I still thought it was great. I'm not a stickler for graphics. I know the new ones are better in terms of graphics, but I still really enjoyed it. I guess for me, it's more about the story and the action, and the levels trying to beat the puzzles and shit than the graphics. But I still thought the graphics were serviceable. I thought they were great for its time. Like I bet this was like the shit when it came out. I mean, I was only 4 years old, so obviously I don't really know. But I feel like these God of War games kind of changed the game. Uh, pun intended, in terms of graphics and storytelling and world building. Um, I mean, this and like Grand Theft Auto. See how much passion goes into making this, from the creators to the voice actors to the musicians. Everybody just seems so into it. That final battle with Zeus was fantastic, and that big cliffhanger that Zeus is his dad and he goes back in time to defeat him once and for all is great. It makes me very excited to play the third one. Fun fact, by the way, Zeus was originally supposed to be played by Christopher Lee, but he backed out for creative differences. I don't know. Would have been cool to hear Christopher Lee, as he's a fantastic actor. but they got the guy who played Count Dooku in the Clone Wars to play him, which I think is kind of funny. I guess he's just destined to play Christopher Lee Potts, or what could have been Christopher Lee Potts. But yeah, it's not often I see a game end on a cliffhanger like that. I feel like most games I've played are kind of one and done, and if they have sequels, then they kind of tell a new story. But from the looks of it, it looks like 3 continues directly at the end of 2, which is really interesting. The cliffhanger definitely relieved me wanting more, and hopefully Santa Claus gives me God of War 3 underneath the Christmas tree on the 25th, so I could continue this awesome series. It's like the end begins. I don't think that's the case though, because there's still the new games. So maybe they thought the third one was going to be the last. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of God of War 2, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.